Hey guys, so today I will be showing you how to draw hair in Gimp like how you see here. To start off, I'm just going to make a new layer. And the first thing I like to do is kind of create almost like a color palette, kind of like an artist would if they're painting a picture. So I want to make red hair. So I'm going to do a deep red color for my base. And I'll just draw a little swatch of it. And then I'll go up the scale, make it a little bit lighter. Draw the lighter swatch next to it. And keep going up in lightness. When I am doing this type of gradient, I like to do about 6 or 7 different colors just to get the depth in the hair that I'm looking for. This palette, or this gradient technique, you would use for any kind of colored hair that you were working with. So if you were doing blonde, you would want to start out with some darker browns and then slowly work your way up into the yellow range. This is an example for red, so I'm starting out with a deeper, almost brown, and then slowly working my way up through burgundy, and then the lighter reds, and eventually oranges. For black, you would do the same thing. You would start off with solid black and slowly work your way up the grayscale until you got to white. So once we have our little palette done, all I need to do to switch between the different colors now is grab my color picker tool and click on the color that I want. It just makes it a little bit faster. So I'm going to create a new layer and select our darkest base color. Go to our brush tool. And to start out with, I am just going to draw the base of the hair. So there we go, that would be our theoretical base. You do the same thing with any avatar picture, you would just draw the base of the hair. Now create a new layer. Go back to our palette layer, get our color picker tool, and choose our second color in the spectrum. So go back to this new layer, grab our brush tool. I'm just going to turn the size down to about 5. All I'm going to do is draw a series of lines over this base hair. Alright, so now that we have that layer done, I'm going to create another new layer. Go back to our palette layer, get our color picker tool, and grab the next latest shade. Go back to our brush tool, go back to the new layer, and I am literally just going through the same steps with each layer. I'm just selecting the next latest color, drawing the lines in, creating a new layer, picking the next latest color, drawing the lines in, creating another new layer, etc., etc. So I will speed up this process just so this video isn't extremely long, and come back when I'm done drawing all the lines. Alright, now that we have all of our colors put in, I'm just going to make another new layer. And I like to go back to our very darkest shade and just add a few more series of lines using our darkest shade just to give it a little more dimension. Alright, so now that that's done, I am going to just make all of these layers invisible until we get down to our base layer. And then slowly, one by one, reveal them and check the coloring and make sure it's the right shade that you want. So this, I might turn down the opacity a little bit just because I am looking for a darker red hair. And as we go up, I'll just reveal another layer. Turn the opacity down a little bit until it's to my liking. And then continue on through, go to the next layer. I'm going to turn the opacity down on this one a little bit. And this one. This one. And then finally our darkest layer. So this is more of the red hair color that I was going for. Now come the highlights. So the highlights, I will grab white and then draw some lines through the hair, just as we had with all the other colors, but not quite as dense. And then I'll go up here to our layer mode and select overlay. I might do this a few times just to really get that depth in the hair texture. Layer mode, overlay. So for the actual shine layers, I'll make another new layer. And if I wanted to add a shine section in here, all I would do is draw a solid white line across the hair. I might add one here, add another one down here. And then all I'll do is I'll grab our smudge tool, turn the size up a little bit, and then smudge these lines out. So then all I need to do is go to our layer mode, overlay. And there you can see it's a little bit brighter. I can create another new layer and say I want it a little more intense than that. All I need to do is go back to our brush tool, draw the white line back over in the center part of it, go to filters, blur, Gaussian blur, and I will blur this at a 20. And then do the same thing, go to the layer mode and set it to overlay. And if I don't want it quite that bright, I can just turn the opacity down until it's to my liking. Another thing you can do to make this look a little more clean and realistic looking is to get rid of the base background edges. So we'll go back down to our very first base layer, grab our smudge tool, turn the size down to about 5, and I will just smudge out the harsh edge a little bit so that way it kind of blends in a bit better with the hair that we drew. So there we go. So I'm just going to make one more new layer. And say this was towards the scalp of the hairline and you wanted to make it darker so it fades down into the lighter. All you need to do is grab your brush tool, select black, and color over this edge. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means. And then we'll go to filters, blur, Gaussian blur. And we'll also blur this at about 20. You have your darker edge. And then all you have to do is turn the opacity down until it's to your liking. And there you have it. I hope this video helped you guys. If you're having any troubles or have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And thanks so much for watching.